Hey everybody, this is Brian with Bear Cards 34. Today I'm coming back with a little mail day video showing off some of my pickups that I've had recently, as well as a giveaway, so stay tuned for that. I wanted to mention, a couple days ago was Steve McMichael's 65th birthday, and he's one of my all-time favorite Bears, and the channel Zach and Porter did a really nice Steve McMichael tribute. I'll include a link to that video in the description. But I really enjoyed that. I highly recommend you guys checking that out. Some of the former Bears players, including Dan Hampton and Coach Mike Ditka, sent out a video of well wishes for him. Steve McMichael is unfortunately not doing well. He has ALS, also known as Lou Gehrig's disease, and has definitely taken a toll on him. But just a very beloved sports figure in Chicago. Great storyteller, great player, underrated, but absolutely fantastic player for the Chicago Bears. Okay, so my first eBay pickup, this right here is a basketball card. This is the only basketball card for the video today, for those of you who are into football. So don't worry, just one. This is Walker Kessler. He is a member of the Utah Jazz. He was drafted by Minnesota, but came over to Utah as part of the Rudy Gobert trade. And so when he got traded, I decided I'd pick up an auto of his just for my Utah Jazz PC. And the opening NBA game for the Utah Jazz was last night against the Denver Nuggets. And the Jazz are considered to be in a rebuild right now, and actually had a great game last night and surprised everybody. They really just destroyed the Nuggets and had quite a great game. And Walker Kessler, he actually had it, like, I think it was an NBA record where it was the first time that an NBA rookie has had a double-double along with perfect shooting in an NBA debut. So he had 12 points, 10 rebounds, and he was 5 for 5 shooting. And my buddy Brian from Walkenbach was actually at that game last night, so I'm sure he had a really good time watching that. I'm not expecting anything really for the Jazz this year, but that was a great way to start the season for sure. All right, next up, getting back into football, this is a Devin Lloyd. This is a 2021-22 Bowman U First Bowman Refractor. I didn't have the refractor version of that card, so wanted to pick that one up. And I also got this other Devin Lloyd card right here. This one is the 2022 Luminance, and this is the blue parallel, numbered to 149. He's having a great rookie year with the Jacksonville Jaguars, and so I'm really happy to be able to pick up those two cards. And then keeping with the Bowman U theme, this right here is a Braylon Allen. This is the Shimmer Refractor. I just really like the look of that. So my guys over at Broncos Breaks are a huge fan of his and have mentioned him since last year. And I've become a big fan. I've been following his career, watching his highlights. Just an amazing running back, and it's been fun to follow him this year in college. All right, next up, I picked up a couple Mail Day Santa Claus cards. So this right here is the 1991 Pro Line Santa Claus, and then this is the 1993 Playoff Santa Claus. So I'm kind of a sucker for the Santa Claus cards, and I have been ever since I saw one from Pro Set back in. Well, they had one in the 1989 set, but that one is a lot more rare. It's tough to get. I've never gotten it before. But the 1990 set had an insert of Santa, and so I've really enjoyed collecting those ever since. With Christmas coming up later this year, thought it might be nice to add a couple of those to my collection. Right, next up, this is a 2013 Topps Mini Black of Robert Turbin. This is a super short print, and I got it at a really good deal, numbered 4 out of 5. I think that is now the rarest Robert Turbin card I have. Normally I don't collect the minis all that often. They're kind of a fun little side project, but anyway, happy to have that one for my Robert Turbin PC. All right, next up, I've got this Wild Card NIL illumination of Cam Rising. This is his autograph. So I have a few of his autos now. It's been great to watch him playing at the University of Utah and having his cards. And so this is one that I picked up recently. So Utah, who was at the time ranked number 20, was playing undefeated USC, who was ranked number 7 last weekend. And I don't know if you guys saw that, but I highly recommend you check out maybe the highlights of that game. It was one of the best games I've ever seen. Very, very hard fought. And Cameron Rising was fantastic. They ended up winning after going for a 2-point conversion, which Cam Rising ran in with under a minute to go, or about a minute to go. And they ended up winning that game by 1 point. So really great there. He was also the Pac-12 Player of the Week last week. He had almost 500 yards of total offense, and he had 5 touchdowns. So really happy to have that one. And then in keeping with the Utah Utes, I also picked up this Eric Weddle. So this is a 2022 Panini Instant, and this is documenting the Super Bowl championship. And I just really wanted to pick up this card because Eric Weddle, if you guys followed that story, I've mentioned him before, but he played his college ball here in Utah, where I'm from, and he had been retired for 2 years. And the Rams had so many injuries last year, they ended up going to Eric and asking him if he would consider playing for the team in the playoffs last year. So even though he had been 2 years retired, he jumped right into the lineup, ended up starting all the playoff games, and was awesome and won a Super Bowl ring. So it was a really cool story. And I didn't have, because he retired right after the playoffs, they didn't really make any cards of his, but they made this one representing the Super Bowl. So I thought that would be a nice one for my PC. All right, next up, I have this Mosaic from 2021. This is a Scripps Silver Mosaic of Mark Duper. I just thought that was a cool looking card. I've always been a fan of Mark Duper, Mark Clayton, Dan Marino. They were just an awesome team and a lot of fun to watch when I was a kid. So I put a small bid on that. I think it was like $5, $6, and I won. And so happy to add that to my collection for sure. Great player back in the day. All right, next up, and this is one I'm really excited to be able to get here. This is the Greg Olsen 2007 Topps Chrome White Refractor rookie card. These are numbered out of 869, and I'm working on getting the entire Chicago Bears team set of the Topps Chrome White Refractor. And this is one of the last cards I need. Still need a couple more, but I'm almost there. So very happy to have that. And Greg Olsen I loved Greg Olsen. He was a first-round pick back in 2007. He was an all-rookie that year. A couple of years later, he was a Pro Bowl alternate and had 4 really solid years with the Bears. He said he really liked playing with them. Unfortunately, the Bears traded him away. I was very frustrated by that. I know a lot of the fans were. He went on to Carolina, where he was a 3-time Pro Bowler. He had 3 straight 1,000-yard seasons. You'll see him these days as a sportscaster as well. But he just had a very, very solid career. And I always was disappointed that we traded him away. And to make it worse, we traded him for a 3rd-round pick later on. And the guy we drafted was a guy named Brandon Harden. And he was injured 2 years in a row in preseason. So he never played a game for the Bears. 0 tackles, 0 anything, 0 games played. So those injuries really added up. But unfortunately, we traded Greg Olsen basically for nothing. Okay, next up, we've got these. This is from 2008. This is a 2008 Upper Deck Icons NFL chronology. This is, I believe it's the silver version, so it's numbered out of 750. And this one highlights the 1977 season where Walter was the NFL's MVP. And then they also have one for him for 1984. And again, this is the silver version. And this is for, making note of his passing Jim Brown as the NFL's all-time rushing leader. So I'm very happy to have these 2 cards for sure. Those will be really nice for my Walter Payton PC for sure. All right, and you guys may remember in a recent video I had posted on a mail day about getting this Dan Hampton. These came out of Pro Set, and they're called the Cinderella Stories, where they highlighted 9 stories in football that were noteworthy. And this was Dan Hampton basically getting a surgery, one of many, to come back one more year so that he could play in 1990, just because he loved the game so much. And so anyway, I picked up a few more. I was able to get this 1979 Tampa Bay Buccaneers Cinderella story. And someone that I really like right here, Ricky Bell, they have him on the front of that. And this Doug Williams was the quarterback for this team. And so right here you can see this talks about Tampa Bay losing 20. It says losers of its first 26 games in franchise history. Buccaneers shed doormat status in 1979 to go 10-6 in the regular season and advance to the NFC Championship game. So it talks about just all the failures they had and how they actually made it all the way to the NFC title game. They did lose 9-0, so it was a close game. Unfortunately, the offense couldn't get it going in that game, but a real turnaround for this team and this franchise. Next up, we have Jim Plunkett, who was drafted by the Patriots back in the day. And so they really compared this, they called it a Cinderella season after Jim Plunkett, who had kind of been considered out of the league and not, kind of a bust, you could say. He played for the Patriots, the 49ers. Nothing much happened. He was a backup for the Raiders. And it even mentions right here, picked up by Raiders but languished on bench for 2+ seasons until starting quarterback Dan Pastorini was injured early in 1980. Plunkett took over a struggling team and guided it to 6 consecutive victories and into the playoffs as wild card participant. Then led Raiders to Super Bowl, where he became only wild card team ever to win NFL title. Also led Raiders to a 38-9 victory over Washington in the Super Bowl. So definitely a Cinderella story there for Jim Plunkett, and that was just a great season for them for sure. And then this one right here, Tom Dempsey. And so you can notice, he's a kicker. He was missing part of his foot, part of his kicking foot there. And so with his story right here, born without right hand and without toes on his right foot, Dempsey overcame handicap to become record-setting kicker. Played for 5 teams in his 11-year career. With New Orleans in 1970, he kicked a 63-yard field goal. At the time, that was the longest in NFL history. So again, just, I think it mentions on here, the Dempsey, who wore hammer-like shoe on deformed foot, booted kick through uprights on game's final play to give them a victory. Right there on a game. But they mentioned that hammer-like shoe. You can kind of see it right there in the picture. But another great story. So very happy to be able to add, these ones to my collection. I've got 4 of them now. A couple of them, I really like to get the Rocky Blyer. Some of the prices on some of the cards are a little bit high, but if I can find the right price, I'll definitely be continuing to get that collection. Okay, so now for the giveaway, here's what I wanted to mention. So in a recent video, I opened up some Pro Set Power from 1993. I opened half the pack. They came with these really cool inserts. This is a power combo with the Atlanta Falcons wide receivers, including Drew Hill and Andre Rison. And anyway, after I opened half the box and sorted through it, it turned out that I had the complete set of power moves and power prospects. So I decided to just off camera, because of that, I didn't feel like I wanted to rip a whole other box full of stuff that you'd already seen before, other than a couple of inserts. So I thought I'd just show the inserts here. So some of these will have been from the rip, and then other ones I opened up later on. But these are the Impact rookies, and these are harder to get. I did not get them all, but I have quite a few of them, but not all. So Adrian Morrell, Victor Bailey, Vincent Brisby, O.J. McDuffie, James Jett, Dana Stubblefield, Willie Roaf, great one, and my favorite, of course, would be this Jerome Bettis. So these are the Pro Set Power Impact rookies that are a little harder to track down in the set. And these power combos are really awesome. So along with the Rison and Hill, we've got this power combo of Jerry Rice and Steve Young, Jim Kelly and Frank Reich. And this really shows the story of when Frank Reich came in for an injured Kelly, and just having Kelly in his street clothes really brings back some memories for me from back in the day. Irvin and Harper, Woodson and Figures, I really like that one. Smith and Bennett, Brian Cox and Coleman, Aikman Smith, and then Brown and Ishmael. So I watched the video back, and I referred to Raheem Ishmael as Qadri, his brother. So this is Rocket Ishmael. And two of my favorite Notre Dame players. Love that card. Totally had to shake my head when I called him Qadri, but anyway. And then Brian Cox and Marco Coleman. So let's see here. Yeah, okay, so this is kind of interesting, right? It's a power combo of two players. Same two players, but just a different card. That's interesting. Go figure. Anyway, all right, so these, what I wanted to show you then is because I basically got the set, I decided to hold over 3 packs from Pro Set Power. So I'm going to be doing a giveaway, and in that giveaway it's going to come with all 3 of these packs that I will send out to you, along with a handful of duplicates that I got in there. So for the Power Moves update, you'll get Kevin Green, Ronnie Lott, Reggie White, Joe Montana, so just some Hall of Famers here. And then you'll also get, this is a gold Ron Moore Power Prospect, so that has the gold insert on that. And then some other Power Prospect rookies of Curtis Conway, Mark Brunell, Kadri Ismail, Rocket Ismail, Willie Rofe, Michael Strahan, Drew Bledsoe, Jerome Bettis, and I got a double of the Frank Reich and Jim Kelly Power Combo. So basically that will be the giveaway. All of these cards right here and these 3 packs of Pro Set Power. Alright, so for the final thing, in order to win this giveaway, or excuse me, in order to be entered into the giveaway, what I would like you to do in the comments is tell me which of these 3 Cinderella stories, Jim Plunkett, Tom Dempsey, Dan Hampton, or the Tampa Bay Buccaneers of 1979, which of these 4 was your favorite Cinderella story? If you want, you can go look and do research on all of these players, just if you're unsure. But yeah, let me know which of these would have been your favorite Cinderella story. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep this open until next weekend. So the weekend before Halloween, probably this on Sunday, right before Halloween, I am going to do a video. So what would that be, October 30th? So what I will do is I'll look at the comments, and anyone who answered this question specifically will be entered into the drawing. If you've seen my drawings before, I do it old school. I just put the names in a hat and pick one out, but I'll be sure to put the names and also which one people picked on there. So feel free to join in the giveaway if you would like, and let me know which Cinderella story was your favorite. All right, so again, we got Dan Hampton, Tom Dempsey, Jim Plunkett, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So I'm not necessarily asking which one of the cards you like best or which your favorite player is necessarily, but which of those stories was your favorite Cinderella story of the 4. All right, so very happy to add to my Walter Payton PC, and happy to add another Chicago Bear to the Topps Chrome team set. And anyway, I appreciate you guys sticking around and watching. Take care, and I'll be back with more videos in the near future.